Backstage, there's a moment before the lights cut where the air itself feels aware, heavy with expectation. The kind of silence that hums because thousands of people are holding their breath at the same time. The anticipation is palpable, already within their bodies, waiting. I can sense this unseen energy connecting every pulse to one central signal. Their eyes search for it, their muscles anticipate it, and in that pressure, I realized something that changed everything for me. Attention isn't chaos. It isn't luck, it's gravity, and gravity can be designed. I started experimenting, not like an artist testing concepts, but like an engineer studying a hidden machine. One shift in color, one phrase delivered at a different tempo, one image held half a second longer than comfort allows, and I immediately started noticing the results. I was watching psychology unfold in real time. Their emotions were data, their reactions were equations, and the algorithm, it behaved the same way. It mirrored the audience, bent by the same invisible rules, responding to the same stimuli. It was never random. It was responsive, living, hungry. And that's when it clicked. If you learn how to speak to attention and not to beg for it, not to manipulate it, but to communicate with it, you can summon it like the weather. You can redirect it, you can shape it, you can turn it into architecture. Because attention moves like electricity. And once you understand the circuit, all you have to do is complete the connection. And by the end of this video, you will be many steps closer to mastering the dialect and the dance of attention itself, the universal language that decides who gets seen, remembered, and followed in this age of infinite noise. When I was running my event company and working with creative directors on shows, I started noticing this pattern everywhere. Every single time we actually caught people's attention online, it wasn't random. It was chemical, psychological, and rhythmic. It always came down to the human reward system and the way memory links up inside of the brain. Attention isn't just seeing something. It's the bridge between curiosity and memory. If you can control what someone remembers, you can guide what they desire next. That's what the algorithm really is measuring. Memory retention at scale. It rewards what the collective brain can't stop recalling. So before we go further, I want you to think about this. What's the last thing you couldn't get out of your head? Not something you liked, something that felt like it was almost seeking you out. The image, the sound, the phrase you couldn't shake. Describe it in the comments and tell me why it held you. Because that's how it all begins. If you can understand what moves you, you can better translate what will move others. When you talk about mastering the algorithm, you're really talking about mastering how people categorize the world. It's not magic, it's sorting. Understanding avatars, understanding how perception works. The algorithm is just like the sorting hat in Harry Potter. It doesn't put you where you want to go. It puts you where your energy already belongs. It reads every signal you give, keywords, color, framing, tone, font, and even the space you shoot in. And it decides where you live in its universe. That's why find your niche is really just another way of saying, define your stream of consciousness. It's not about restriction, it's about resonance. So ask yourself, if your content is the sorting hat's data, what is it learning about the unsaid data points? What does your visual language reveal before you even speak? The algorithm is not this cold machine people imagine. It's human pattern recognition amplified to infinity. It's trying to organize chaos so seekers, consumers, can find what they're already looking for on platforms. And that's the key. For there to be an algorithm, there have to be seekers. Without seekers, the signal, your content, dies in silence. Think about the algorithm like a restaurant. The seekers are the customers telling the waiter what they want off the menu. The algorithm is that waiter, moving back into the kitchen to find the perfect chef, the creator, who can cook the exact dish the customer requested. If the chef nails it, the customer stays, eats, maybe even comes back tomorrow. But that's retention. If the dish misses its flavor, they leave quietly and never return. That's the hidden economy of attention. Every view is an order, every impression an appetite, and the faster you can make the waiter's job, the faster it'll run to you when the customer arrives next. So here's your first exercise. Open your analytics and instead of asking what performed, ask what was ordered. If a post blew up, what flavor did you serve? Humor, mystery, rebellion, aspiration? Find your flavor profile. Then write it down and try to understand why did people keep ordering that from me? How can I be ready to serve that again? When I think about attention, I think of it as the nervous system of humanity, not blood, nerves. Because when you burn your finger, your brain knows exactly where the pain is coming from. That's what attention does across the collective. When you cause a ripple in a specific corner of space-time, everyone tunes into that frequency and feels it. They look towards it because it hits their receptors. And that's what people miss. Attention has receptors. Some people only feel movement through humor, some through awe, some through rebellion. You have to know which nerve you're pressing before you even post. So tell me, what nerve do you specialize in? What emotion is your content built to trigger? If you don't know yet, I suggest you start analyzing that and then study which of your last few posts did better and try to pinpoint the specific nerve you triggered. Be intentional. I also like to think of your ability to master artistic communication as you being a lighthouse operator. Whatever color bulb you're using determines which ships come to shore. You can't change the ocean, but you can decide what kind of light you throw across it. That's creative direction at the highest level. You're not changing water, you're bending perception. So here's your next experiment. Change one element in your next post, color palette, tone, or pacing, and read your analytics and write it down like a boat ledger. What kind of ships came this time? Did your light attract the same travelers or new ones? Track that. That's your lighthouse data. There are a lot of other creator archetypes in this network. The entertainer, the prophet, the scientist, the mimic, the princess, the authoritarian, the fighter. Each one connects to a different nerve ending in the collective brain, and each one is valid. None of them are more authentic than the others. Authenticity isn't the absence of performance. It's understanding your performance so completely that the current flows through you cleanly. You're not faking it, you're transmitting with awareness and intention. So here's another reflection. Which archetype are you living through right now? And which one are you avoiding? Do you want what is attracted to those flames? Do you think you have to be a certain archetype in order to attract? Those answers will tell you exactly where your growth is hiding. Most people confuse authenticity with randomness. They think being themselves means being unfiltered. But being yourself isn't chaos, it's coherence. It's learning your signal so you can amplify it without distortion. You can be anything, a hero, a villain, a saint, a mystic, a jester, as long as you understand the costume. Because the costume itself is the data they're reading. My recent event concept, Solaris, was my proof of that. We built a system that didn't rely on flashy edits, just a voice, a mask, and a structure of attention. I told people, in 24 hours,
you're going to be receiving a text from a cow. Don't panic. It's just going to be a set of coordinates. Those coordinates are going to take you to the crystal forest. Within the crystal forest, right down there, we're going to be throwing a rave. And you're invited. If you want to find out, just keep watching.
And that sequence hit every primal switch: curiosity, mystery, participation, anticipation. It became hypnotic because it mirrored the natural rhythm of the human psyche. And that's what I mean when I say design over decoration. It was pattern recognition disguised as chaos. Every detail was engineered to fire the next neuron in the audience's brain. And that's all an algorithmic system is: neurons firing in sequence. Once you understand that rhythm, you can bend it. So what's your Solaris? What's the one idea you're scared to try because it might actually work and you might actually have to commit to the bit? Write it down or comment it. Sometimes speaking it aloud in public is how you start the spell. When people say the algorithm is evil or unfair, I always laugh a little bit. It's not evil, it's only biased to the seeker. If you don't understand who you're speaking to, you'll never plant a seed and in turn never bear fruit. A brilliant idea spoken in the wrong tone, by the wrong messenger, or through uninspired execution dies in the feed. That's not censorship, that's artistic miscommunication. So here's your next practice. Before you post something, show it to someone who doesn't live in your world. If they don't get it within the first 5 seconds, translate it for them. Take note and adapt without bias. You're not dumbing it down, you're widening your frequency range. You're increasing your signal's reach, because art at its core has always been about communication. In the beginning, there was only a painter and a viewer. Now there are infinite painters, infinite viewers, museums inside museums inside museums, each one made of signals and receptors, attention and response. And within those museums, one law has never changed. Whoever learns to move people shapes the space they live in. Whoever understands how systems distribute meaning builds the worlds everyone else walks through. And that's the new art form. System design as emotional architecture. To move people is to send a clean signal. To shape worlds is to understand the system that carries it. It's all mastery is: clarity in a noisy network. If clarity is power, then ask yourself, what signal are you sending next? If you're building your own world, experimenting with reality itself, turning algorithms into ecosystems and ideas into living architecture, welcome and subscribe to Genesis Labs.